But the question of the second sister was different. She asked the question that, can I have garam masala? Garam masala is the Indian name, for spices, like a powder, which is put in food. India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Indian subcontinent. That can I use garam masala, which contains nutmeg? And her question was, can I go to restaurants? Can I go to Muslim neighbors in weddings? I don't know nutmeg is used or not, so what should I do? Now the reply to the second question would be slightly different. And this question, that can nutmeg be used in garam masala, the answer would be slightly different. And I would like to give you the ruling of Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia, importing nutmeg is haram. There are few countries where nutmeg is banned. It's in Saudi Arabia, it's in Kuwait, and few of the Gulf countries. So very few countries in the world have banned nutmeg based on saying that it has effects like drug, etc. But in Saudi Arabia, you can import spices which contain nutmeg up to 20%. So if the percentage of nutmeg in spices is 20% or below, it is permissible. So to the question of the sister, can you use garam masala or spices which contain nutmeg? Don't use pure nutmeg powder, may be available, but most of the garam masala, most of the spices that are there, if they contain nutmeg, it is in small quantity. And most of them, they contain less than 20%. So to the reply to your question, that if nutmeg is there in a small quantity, in garam masala you can use it. Now why is the difference here? And in this answer to mine, even the first group of scholars inshallah will agree with my statement, because as some of you may be aware that most of the soft drinks, the aerated soft drinks like Pepsi, Fanta, 7-Up, Coke, they contain small amount of alcohol. Many may be aware, many may not be aware. But when research is done, the research says that every 1 liter of Coke or Pepsi or the aerated drink, they contain about 10 milligram of alcohol. That is 0.001%. I have not heard of any fatwa of any authentic scholar saying that drinking aerated drink is haram. Not a single. Yes, it does contain alcohol, but it's a small quantity. Here they don't use the fatwa that anything which intoxicates in large quantity is prohibited in small quantity. Why? What they put the ruling, that if you drink Pepsi, even 10 cans, you will not be intoxicated. Even 20 cans, it may be bad for health. It may be junk food. It may spoil your health. There may be excessive sugar. Many disadvantages. But no scholar would say it's haram, because if you have Pepsi or Fanta or 7-Up or Coke in large quantity, it does not intoxicate you. So the hadith of the Prophet of Ibn Majah, volume 4, hadith number 3393 is applicable here. If you drink anything in large quantity and if it intoxicates you, it is prohibited even in small quantity. That means if you have Pepsi, 10 cans, 20 cans, 100 cans, it may spoil your health because of the sugar, because of the other aspects, but it doesn't intoxicate you. Imagine if I put 1 drop, or if I put 1 bottle, if I pour 1 bottle of alcohol in a lake, will the lake become haram? And the answer is no. Because after the 1 bottle of alcohol is put in the lake, and if it mixes and if you drink water from that lake, it will not be haram. So based on that, they say it is permissible. Similarly, the Saudi government and the ulama, they have agreed that if you have nutmeg in small quantity in a powder in garam masala or spices, if you have that powder in large quantity, surely it will not intoxicate you. Even if you add it to the food, and if you have a large quantity of food, that food will not intoxicate you. So regarding the question of the second sister from Pakistan, that having nutmeg in spices mixed, and normally it's in small quantity, these spices don't become haram. So I hope the answer is complete, that I would request that my brothers and sisters, that whichever group of scholars you believe in, but don't use or avoid using nutmeg in your food as a spice directly. But if it's in garam masala, if it's in spices, if it's a small quantity, 20% or less, I feel no scholar will object to the view of using it in spices, whether you go to restaurants, whether you go to weddings, if it's used in spices, it is perfectly fine. And when you go to a Muslim house, it is a normal, you take it for granted that the food that they're serving you is halal, unless there is proof it is haram. So based on that, I feel that using in spices in small quantity, it doesn't go against the rule of both of these group of scholars. So in spices, if it's in small quantity, nutmeg in the spices, surely it will not intoxicate, even if you have in large quantity, whether the spice or whether the food. So I feel there is no problem. And as far as the answer to the second question is that it is permissible if it's in small quantity in spices. Hope this answers the question.